Oh. Well, this is not what time I want to wake up. So yeah, I keep beta blockers on me, but honestly, it's very rare I use them once we get this far in. To up the wee-woos from Ekron, I'll probably just blast my horn. Oh, actually, no, there are wee-woos. There are wee-woos in town I can use. I just have to recharge the battery. So I'll have to nab the battery and drag it home. Because it's at this point, any batteries in the cars are going to be dead because we've already gone through a full winter. And I do need to head back to our main base to get food. So now we're going to spend like not a full day fighting. But I do think I want to try and hit this one northern road and see if we can't clear that real fast before I do. Because we're really close to the city being considered clear. Like, yeah, we've got these little packs here and there, but this is really nothing compared to what we started. Like, downtown, we weren't really seeing zombies at any meaningful level. You know, here we are racing around one of the busiest parts, and we're finding, like, 2 medium-sized hordes here. Because when we clear these towns, migrations and redistributions and all that are on, we are going to have packs of zombies pretty much always wandering back in. So the way I treat an area once I quote-unquote cleared it is we'll circle back like once a month, once every other month or so. You know, honk horns, use alarms, whatever I gotta do to try and just make a bunch of noise to draw out zombies. Alright. But like I said, what we'll end up doing is rolling through, blasting our horn, periodically. Just drawing out any zombies that wander into town, any that may have been like tucked away in back corners that just didn't hear us as we were running around making all sorts of noise. I mean, actually, a lot of times you can hit them through the window, like you'll break the window, but you actually hit them. I wasn't quite anticipating that going that way, but sure, whatever. Yeah, so I'm thinking that we go up here, we take a right. Yeah, so this is normally like one of the busiest parts of Riverside, is that section there. And there's just 5-6 zombies chilling down here, and that's it. But we'll be back through here from time to time, keeping the populace down. until eventually they'll stop showing up entirely. Another one down here. This character has had 2 injuries so far. Both of them were us tripping over stuff, like running and tripping, and eating dirt. Both times it was because I was trying to run from zombies, like when we got intercepted, that kind of thing. So I went to run, bumped into a zombie, tripped. So, you know, we took a scratch or whatever, but it was not from a zombie itself. It was, you know, tripping, hurting ourselves. At least I believe that's the case. Chat can probably correct me if I'm misremembering my runs. So we have our shame of having 14 XP and first aid. But so far, I do not believe we've had any threats of zombification. Which is on. We don't have anything like that turned off. Zombies are just as dangerous as they always are. They're full strength. They're like they're normal strength. The respawn or the spawn time has been turned up. Yeah, and if I'm wrong, it's fine. Cog says, I got bit and scratched and still survived a lot lately. I'm guessing. To keep in mind, unless you have zombification turned off or a mod or whatever, if you get bit, it's 100% chance you die. Like when you go into code, it's not, oh, you know, 100% chance bite equals infection. It's literally just bitten, true, false, is how it handles it. So it's not like it's not a survivable thing without mods or turning off zombification. There's still rumors and posts going, oh, it's like a 99.9 or 99.7% chance of zombie infection. You might survive. It's like, no. If you've modded, you can survive. Or if you change the settings, you can survive. But otherwise, a bite is a guaranteed death. It can take a while. And you can actually have it where you actually fully heal from your bite before the zombification catches up and kills you. But it will ultimately give you zombie infection and kill you. I think it's something like 7% from a scratch has, you know, chance of zombification, 25% chance from a laceration, and 100% chance from a bite that you get zombie infected. If you survived a bite, you've either changed settings or mods. Like, you cannot survive a bite otherwise. Like, it can take a while to kill you. Zombification isn't instant death, but zombification is, or bite is 100% chance zombification without changes. Like, that is a many times over confirmed thing. So if you did survive, there's a good chance you have a mod that's messing with it that you're not aware of, or a game setting that's messing with it that you're not aware of. Yeah, lacerations are only 25% chance. And like sometimes you do get lucky where you'll take 4 or 5 lacerations and still survive. Yep, no, that's what I'm saying, is like they could change settings and maybe even change them on accident that can make it so it's not deadly. Or not as deadly. And then there's mods like around first aid that you can do stuff to either make cures or stuff like that. Oh, you can't go by sound or animation. Like, you'll see a zombie will like reach over your character, they'll do like this, and very clearly in the animation they're biting you. But when you look at your health here, it'll say like scratch or laceration or bite. The animation does not in any way reflect, the animation nor sound in any way does reflect what actually happens. It's just the animation is you took damage, and then it decides what happens. Yeah, no, the animation and the sound have nothing to do with the type of damage you take, which is a thing that can be very confusing, because like you watch someone like, and 100% the animation is they got bitten the hell out of. Like very clearly got chomped on the neck. And then you look at it, it's like, oh, they got scratched on the hand. Okay. Quality of life mods I recommend. So I personally like minimal display bars, which is this one up here. It just gives you more information than you would otherwise have. Like, often, like, you can't tell if you're getting tired until you see the Moodle saying that, oh, you're sleepy. So it gives you a little bit of a heads up that, oh, I'm getting close to sleepy, it's time to start backing off. There's weapon condition indicator, which is this down here. What that's doing is it shows how much, like, durability I've got left on my weapons. It'll also put, like, a little thing above my head. They'll say, like, oh, machete minus, to let me know the moment I lose some durability on a weapon. Oh, this map to show? It's a setting when you make your world. There's like 3 settings. There's one to enable the map at all. The second one is to enable the minimap, and then the third one is if you want the entire minimap to be already populated. Think of the follow. Baltic, let's see. Baltic TiVo? Welcome to the stream. Or sorry, yeah, Baltic TiVo? If I got that wrong, please let me know. And I'll try and do better in the future. Miss Wheatley says, I like to increase the zombification time. That way, even if I get bit, I get a few days to go full Rambo before, and explore before I die. Yeah, and I know there is a lot of players who they will set themselves to instant zombification, and it's fine if you do. I personally strongly encourage... Yeah, just Baltic? No problem. I strongly encourage people to not turn on instant zombification. One thing to warn you with better sorting there, Reed, is better sorting does have performance implications. Just so you know. It is known to have performance implications. So if your game is running a little choppy, a little chuggy, it might be the better sorting mod. Unless they've changed it. But I know that was a problem with it in the past. Okay, we were just here, but no, we weren't just here. Were we just? No, we were one street over. That's right. Okay. Yeah, this is the street we saw all the hordes on that we hadn't cleared. Yep. And like I said, if your game is performing fine with it, just the way you're doing your runs, then keep using it. But if your game is having performance issues, that would be something I'd check. That and your blood decal settings, making sure those are turned down. And actually, I'm overdue to do the new player kind of run through, the little spiel I do. Usually 2-3 times a stream I'll go through the spiel. But first let me deal with these zombies. Just because we have lots of new players who joined into the channel, and it's helpful to kind of go through it. And usually every time I go through the spiel, people are like, you forgot to mention that. That's because I forgot to mention things. Because I don't have it like written down that here's what I say, and then there's other information, and then sometimes context matters, and blah blah blah. So the first thing we do... Never mind, there's still 3 up. So if you see where this zombie's falling down, if I stand on this zombie, it can't hurt me. Oh, I can't make food. I forgot I'm out of food. So yeah, normally I'd stand on it, and just to demonstrate my point, I'd make food, I'd eat it, do all sorts of stuff. But as long as I'm standing on a zombie and it's not a crawler, I can do this forever. This is also true if the zombie is being stood on by another zombie. So that's really useful information to have. But the other thing I'd recommend doing is right when you get in the game, hit escape, go to options, go to your display tab, and there's a couple settings I'd strongly recommend you consider looking at and potentially changing. The first one here is you see where it says blood decals. If you're doing runs that either have very high population or you're dealing with runs that you're just going for a very long time, or your computer's a potato, you may want to consider turning that down. Basically what this is every time you kill a zombie, a little blood splatter appears. It's cool. It adds like a little ambience to the world, makes it look lived in, that kind of thing. Those blood decals stay forever. So you can imagine as you kill hundreds of thousands of zombies, sooner or later there's going to be enough of those blood decals that it's going to absolutely destroy the performance of your game. Now the good news is, you can turn that on and off at any time. I can go here right now and turn that on. You can see all the blood on this road. This is one of the roads we haven't done a lot on, but I'm not having any performance issues here. But when I go to like this road down here, or that main drag that we call zombies, there's a good chance, even on my computer, that's going to absolutely murder performance. So you can also see that the blood does stay even when you get rid of this. You can turn it back on if you want later. The next one is the ISO cursor visibility. I believe at this point it is set to default to 50 or 75%. If not, I would strongly recommend 50 or 75%, and I'll show you what that is in just a minute. There's also show mouse cursor while aiming. Normally when you hold the right mouse button and start aiming, your cursor will disappear. That leaves it on. This is a preference one. I personally find that losing track of your mouse in this game is how you die. So this is nice to not lose track of your mouse. But the most important one, if you're going to ignore all the other settings I would suggest, the one I would suggest more than anything is the aim outline. By default, it's on ranged weapons. I strongly recommend you change it to any weapon. And I'll show you what that is here in a minute. So first, the ISO cursor. So if you look, you'll see this little circle with a line moving around. That's where I'm aiming. So it's kind of like that whole bar, if you can think of the zombie where they're standing. So it's not my mouse pointer itself, it's that bar. So that's good to know exactly where you're aiming. And the old default was something like 10 or 20%. And, oh baby, it's katana time. We're gonna watch me absolutely demolish zombies. So you see how this zombie has a green outline? That is what the aim outline does. So it also tells you when stuff is in range, as well as it will also tell you like which zombie you're going to hit, which is super helpful. I should not be continuing this push with no food, but they gave me a katana, and I feel like I'm no longer in control of my destiny here. That the game has spoken that I must kill. Because if you aren't aware, katana is one of the rarest weapons in the game. It doesn't even show up in the game until after you've survived 2 months. And it slaps. Like, we'll have very few zombies that we do not just flat out one-shot here. If I had functional sirens right now, I would be turning them on and just letting all the zombies come to me and slay. Generally speaking, you want to try and get the zombies. You see how they're mostly lining up to me, as if they were like getting in line to get an autograph or whatever. They're not perfect. They're not good at it. That's the way you want to fight zombies, is as much as you can. Oop, crowbar. So remember that one in the middle row has a crowbar. So as much as you can, you want them to line up straight in front of you. Because the issue is, if they line up horizontal or perpendicular to the way you're facing, so like this way, then what ends up happening is you hit the one in the middle, and then the ones on the other sides walk right past your attack and then grab you from the side and just murder your face. So you absolutely want to make sure you never fight them when they're like this direction from you. The perpendicular to where you're facing. Some other pro tips I would show you. But even if you have food that like has gone stale, it's going to make you sad. If it's something like produce or meat or, hey, a bunch of zombies, I didn't expect to see that many of you, but that's fine. I have a katana. It's basically invulnerable. Not really. But you feel that way when you have a katana. Because it's not so much fighting the zombies as like almost you feel like you're just smashing the delete key and the zombies are falling over. So this is the point that if you do a run or a build that isn't that strong, that you have to like wait to get your strength. This is where you start feeling like an absolute superhero. And yes, I have 100% died from just getting super over aggressive because I have a katana and I feel like a superhero. That has happened. And it's actually our last rip clip still, is me getting a katana, going absolutely ham, killing like 100-something zombies, going for a swing I really shouldn't have, and then a zombie biting me in the arm for it. Because that's what happens. But yeah, so the katana slaps. Like you'll remember we were backpedaling. Yeah, you'll remember we were backpedaling with half the fights we're doing. This one I only sometimes backpedal when I can't get enough swings fast enough. There's our flamingo friend. We're here to rescue you. But yeah, let's see. What I was gonna say is if you have like if you have fruits, vegetables, or certain meats like ham or fish, and you have a bowl on you, you can make a quote-unquote salad. So you can just like literally put ham in a bowl and call it a salad, and it counts. Where normally eating stale food makes your character unhappy, if you put in a bowl, by the magic of bowl, now it doesn't make you sad anymore. It actually makes you happy. So bowls are extremely powerful of you just right click, choose make salad, and just magically stale food becomes fresh and delicious. So bowls, very useful. Good to just have your bowl with you. Yeah. Well, it was funny at one point because we took I think it was sliced ham, not sliced ham, bacon. Oh, I think I put 2 of each of those in, so it was still considered like a ham salad. But I'm like, let's be real, this is just a big old bowl of pig. Like this is just a bowl of meat. There is no salad happening here. To be fair, you also make a potato salad, and by that I mean you take a potato, you have no salt, you have no pepper, you have no dressing, you have no other veggies. You're seriously talking literally just a potato. And you just chop it up and you put in a bowl and go, it's potato salad. You didn't cook it, you didn't do anything to it. You just cut it up and put it in a bowl. And it's magically salad. I'm like, no, that's a potato. It's a cut up potato, but that's a potato. But the game is like, nope, this gives you happiness. You want to eat cabbage? Just straight on cabbage? Put in a bowl. No dressing, no salt, no pepper, no other veggies, no anything. Just cabbage. And so your character's like, hell yeah, cabbage. But heaven forbid you eat slightly stale cabbage. It is like your character is just distraught at the idea. And all I can think of is your character sitting there eating for like literal in-game months, just nothing but sliced cabbage in a bowl, and feeling super happy about it. And then they find ice cream that's melted, and they're like, no, this makes me sad. It's melted ice cream. And all I can think is like, you've been eating nothing but cabbage for literal months. This ice cream that's melted would be like, you would practically cry tears of joy for any flavor that isn't cabbage. Why is this the thing that makes you sad? Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong. If I have to choose between a potato that has been cut up and put in a bowl, or just grabbing a potato and then biting into the side of it, I mean, the potato in the bowl does sound like the better of those two choices. I'm not saying I'm happy with either choice, but I would be slightly less happy with just grabbing raw potato and chomping. There's a lot of things that don't make sense. Like, for example, you get the tomato plants, you harvest the tomatoes, and then the plant's gone. And I would forgive it if all the plants did that, but strawberries don't do that. And all I can sit there and go, that's not how tomatoes work. It's not like I yank the plant out of the earth when I get the tomatoes. Like, I pick the tomatoes, and then it sits there, and I get another harvest later. Like, tomatoes are not one and done. I mean, not unless you got, like, a very short growing season. Or very, very specific breeds of tomato. Yeah, we're getting to that point where I'm probably going to have to turn around and bail soon, because we are getting legitimately just flat out hungry. We're going to start taking penalties for it. Oh, I'm also noticing this katana is about to get broken. It must not have been... That katana must have been like half broken when we got it, or I was just not paying attention. Either is entirely possible. Yeah, because now I have a damage penalty because we're too hungry, and it'll penalize my strength. At least I believe it penalizes my damage. I know it penalizes my carry weight. Either way, we're getting hungry. Gotcha. So we just had bad luck on our rolls. It happens. That's not the worst we've had so far as katanas. We had one katana that didn't make it up a full road before we broke it, and it wasn't even like a particularly densely populated road. I was pretty salty because I think it's out of like 10 hits, 6 hit the durability at something like 5 or 6 maintenance. So it's like, why did you bother giving me a katana if you're just going to take it away like that? I kind of do want to try and finish off these hordes here. Because I would like to start getting to the point where we're going to be able to start considering Riverside clear. And I partially feels like if we get this last road clear, that Riverside proper is effectively clear. We'll still roll through, do the horn, do all that kind of stuff, but I would like to be able to wrap up the stream basically saying, hey, Riverside is nothing but stragglers now. You know, or migrated with zombies. Because it would be nice to start in the next city. You know, next, like, tomorrow when we play Project Zomboid again, to start in the next city. Nah, this is probably fine. Like, the thing that would be in danger is if I was doing this and we were this hungry and the helicopter showed up. That would be one of those situations where it's like, ooh, I'm not sure this is a this is how we died situation, but it's definitely this is a non-ideal situation. Yeah, because there's no buildings back here. So I'm not even really considering this riverside as far as I'm concerned. That's just a road. Like, we'll still go clear that at different points, but you know. Basically, I'm going to go through here, and if I don't see anything, we're going to go back through the middle of town, out the west side. And if I don't see a significant zombie presence, I'm going to probably call it cleared. Which is perhaps being a bit... generous isn't the word. I am not sure what you're looking to get with kills command, but we are currently at 40,270 zombie kills, if that's what you're aiming for. I don't even know how to populate the kills command. Or populate a kills command. Alright, well that's annoying. Well, we've got the zombies from these houses. I hate when this happens. It's like all of a sudden, like all the zombies that have been behind you just come out of whatever hole they've been hiding in this whole time. Which that's just when migration or redistribution triggers. It's the zombies moving around to go, oh, there's empty places I can go. Let me fill in those places that don't have enough zombies. And it just so happens, because you're the thing killing zombies, you are the empty place. I know, posture check. I keep leaning forward. It does seem like this chair, compared to my other one, after a while it does start to get uncomfortable. So I do need to figure that out. There's just not enough cushion in the cushion, if you catch my drift. So I might drag this chair out and grab my other chair. Because like I mentioned this before, this used to be my office for my job. I am on sabbatical these days. But, so this chair is actually the one I had for my office. But, like, this desk I drug in here from my other room because, you know, I had my personal computer in the same room as that. It does. And I have a standing desk. It was standing room. You know, that's actually probably fair. I probably should switch back to stand. Because people, like, it used to be a thing that people were like, oh, what's the best way to sit at your thing? Because I, like, you know, would do lots of research on ergonomics. And ultimately the answer I came up with, and you know, this is not my original thought, this is from someone else I wish I could have credit, is that the best way to be sitting at your desk is the way you haven't been sitting at your desk for the last 15 minutes. It's effectively move around. Now, there's obviously ways incorrect to sit at your desk, but the point is people are like, oh, is standing better than sitting? Well, they're both bad, but they're differently bad if you're doing nothing but them. So it's to kind of bounce around between sitting different ways that are reasonable. All right, well, I'm going to switch to standing real fast, and that's going to take me just a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Yeah, because notice whenever I do an attack, I try to be backing away from the zombie, if at all possible. Like, I'm not always good about doing it, but I try to do that. And the reason for that is if I whiff whatever, then I'm moving away from the zombie, so when it tries to fight back, that, you know, I can potentially be out of range where I'm safe, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Like I said, I still am pushing, which is probably not the right answer, to just see if I can't get around like this side here that we cleared last time. And then we're just going to go west, see if we can mop it up, because I would love to be able to call this town effectively clear. Like I said, there's definitely zombies in these houses and all that. We'll have to blast through here, doing horns, all that kind of crap. But it is getting super quiet here. We might not be able to get through all that because we're starting to get drowsy. Not quite at drowsy yet, but we'll be there very soon. I think we take that as the cue that it's time to go. Just like I said, we're right about to hit drowsy. We're getting pretty hungry. We're about halfway to the next depth of hunger. At which point we'll take a more severe penalty to the amount of damage we do. I saw it zombie aggroed. Because we're so close to this place being cleared. Just curious, we're going to back out. That's not many. Probably too much for what we want to do, though. Yep, this isn't going to happen on this day. Mostly because of the hunger. Like, the sleepiness, I could vitamin my way around that. But the hunger, that's a more difficult problem. I might push later than I normally stream and do another day or two, because I would love to wrap this up and have like that be the end of our stream for today. To be able to go like, okay, Riverside is done. You actually specified water, which is the right thing. I was actually just thinking, like, I should have stopped drinking this soda a while ago, so far as the caffeine, but it's open, so I'm going to finish it. But I do have water here as well to finish, so I'm going to knock the soda out and I'm going to have some water. Okay, now we're getting some distance. We can actually put some speed on, because we shouldn't see nearly as many zombies here. This route is probably still going to have some zombies on it, because they've only cleared it a couple passes, versus once we clear it, like, you know, 8, 9, 10 passes, then you see, like, maybe one zombie once in a long while. Yeah, we got one down here, that's fine. Right now we just need to get home because we need the food and we need the sleep. And in this pass I'm probably going to grab a bunch of fish to eat as opposed to our veggies. And the reason for that is simply we're getting to the point where we're getting close to going underweight, so we want to start eating stuff that'll put weight back on us. And fish in this game is a really good source of putting weight on you. So generally when you want to lose weight, you eat veggies or fruit. When you want to eat weight, or when you want to gain weight, you eat meat and carbohydrates. So you shovel away cereal, oats, meat, fish. And there are some people out here going like, why? Yeah, or you eat maple syrup, or you find a jar of mayonnaise, or you eat sticks of butter. Like, when you find if you're trying to gain weight in this game and you find like a tube of mayonnaise or a jar, or like I can't remember, like bottle of mayonnaise or whatever it is, and you eat that whole thing, you just eating that is going to get you like 2 kilograms of weight. It just is ridiculous the amount of calories in that thing. It's weight gain in a tube. I did that once by mistake. I think that was in our really CDDA run. Like, food was getting desperate, and no, it wasn't that, because the mayonnaise would have been rotten. There was one run we did that, like, food was getting desperate or whatever. I was like, all right, well, I found mayonnaise, nom nom, and we had gone because we were like, because I started as obese, we had lost like 1 or 2 kilograms, and by the time that thing was done, it ended up putting me like 2 kilograms over where I started the game at. Peanut butter also is pretty good calories. That'll put you up. Ice cream as well. Basically, sweets, snacks, potato chips, like stuff like potato chips and the ice cream and the peanut butter. I want to say that'll gain you some weight, but it's like the mayonnaise, the butter, and the maple syrup and that's like next league amounts of calories you get. That is just calories in a bottle. Gotcha, yeah, if you're down to 76, that's usually a good point to start eating stuff like peanut butter, oats, cereal, meat, whatever you can get out your hands on that's calorie rich. Generally speaking, you want to be between 75 and 85. Yeah, peanut butter was something like 2,000. A stick of butter is like 3,200. I have no idea what the mayonnaise is, but it's absurd. Like, I wish I knew the number, but it feels like, just gut check, feels like the highest calorie thing I've had a character eat that I'm aware of. Because, like, I ate just the one thing of mayonnaise, and I had, like, the double echelons up going from down. So it was like, oh my god, like, we must have maxed out our calorie count instantly. Because, like, you look at this right now, I'm at a calorie of minus 2,200. And then it goes positive, I can't remember, it's like 3,000 something. And yeah, we went double echelon up, which means we basically did the whole bar. Mayo is 3,000? Okay. What's the maple syrup then? That's got to be 2,500 at least. Maybe 2,700? Oh, yeah, if your mail's round, it's good. Oh. Alright, that zombie's too close to home. Did we kill you? Boo. Boo. I want my zombie kills to count. When I hit him with the car, they don't count. And plus, they damage my car. I normally don't clean them out, but I will forget that zombie's there. Maple syrup is 1,100? Okay, that's not that much. Gotcha, so peanut butter is actually super high. Gotcha. I mean, regardless if you're trying to gain weight, you eat the peanut butter. If it's high calorie, just like this, my mouth. Now what I do is I usually don't worry about any of that stuff. I just grab fish and I shovel fish fast as it'll go in my mouth. And always before I fill up, you do a lap around the pump, because that pump obscures your vision super badly. So gas pumps are actually very dangerous places to be. But if you do a lap around the pumps and you don't see any zombies, usually means you're okay. Nevertheless, you do want to be you want to listen very carefully, just in case any cheeky zombie tries to sneak up on you. Gotcha, Cog. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Another thing that's helpful to do is to keep an extra bag on you when you've got one, assuming you can find one of similar quality. Thank you for the follow. I'm going to try and pronounce that. If I get it wrong, please correct me. I'm going to go with Clary. That feels super long. I'm just going to go with Claire. And thank you so much for the follow and welcome to the stream. If you could correct me on how to pronounce that, I would like to get it right. So I'm taking all the stuff that I'm definitely just going to put away. Oh, it is Claire. Okay. Part of me was like, it looks like it's Claire, but I'm also worried about it being, you know, like, because I wanted the H to do more. But I'm like, oh, but it could be silent. Oh, silent H's always get ya. Okay. But yeah, so if I carry an extra bag and I put in my secondary hand, now I have...
Claire Hay just subscribed.
Thank you so much for the sub, Claire. I really do appreciate that. You can now enjoy yourself some nice ad-free viewing, as well as you've got all your little fancy emotes there that you can have a good time with. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. But yeah, so what I was saying about the carrying the extra bag is I like to carry an extra bag to put loot in. Why? Oh, I have to pick it up, not put down. Because then what I can do is when it comes to, there's a couple things. I'll show you some of the advantage of doing it that way. And you'll notice we've got our wonderful flamboyance that's growing steadily. Behold our flamboyance. It is most flamboyant. We have more plastic flamingos here in Kentucky than there are real flamingos in Kentucky. But once I ditch these gnomes real fast, let me show you a trick. Oh, there's something there, that's fine. I am annoyed that I cannot turn the gnomes facing north, so they all have to face south. It seems rude. Let's say I'm running around, and this where it says heavy load, let's say I'm at extreme heavy load. I've just cut a whole bunch of trees. My backpack is super heavy. This does not sound like it's running. It is running. But, so you got this huge heavy bag and going, oh no, I just see a giant herd of zombies up here. And dropped. And now I'm not overburned anymore. And then when I'm done fighting the zombies, I can go, okay, come back, grab my bag, put in my secondary hand. Versus if I put that in like my main pouch, I have to click and drag it, and each one has to load. Like you have to go through the loot, unloot, wait, and that can be very slow. So this is a really good idea for doing that for dropping it. Huh. These don't seem to be growing when I'm not nearby. Maybe, I don't know. I might just be misunderstanding this, or not misunderstanding it, misseeing it. But then the other advantage is when you're dealing with bags, especially when you're doing something where you have just one type, like yeah, that's what I was going to get to next, is like assuming I had just food in here, I could walk up here and go, oh, time to deal with the loot, transfer all, and it dumps everything. So I could go transfer all, and we just start loading this all up. In this case, it's not all going to fit here because I have entirely too much fish but you get the idea. So it's really handy for loot management as well. Ooh, I may not even be able to fit all that fish on my person in general. Oh no, we're good. But yeah, it's just nice for managing, like, this is the stuff I want to keep, this is the stuff I'm just going to be dumping into different store, or I should say, this is the stuff I want to keep on me for, like, when we're looting and doing all that kind of stuff, like spare food, water, weapons, all that kind of stuff. And then this is crap I've got just surplus that when I take it home, I'm going to dump it into storage. Maybe later it comes back out with me, maybe to use it for around the base. It's loot. This is stuff I'm leaving here. We have 50 kilograms of fish that we're about to cook here. Alright, well that cooks, because that's going to take a minute because they're all frozen. Yep, it's also nice to dump stuff in your car. So pretend for a moment I don't have the CD on me. I could walk up and just be like, alright, oh, it's time. I actually don't want to do it. The reason I don't want to do it is I actually have stuff here I don't... Oh no, are we full storage again? Oh, no, we're good. But if you imagine this whole bag's full, I can just go bip, and that just puts all the stuff in there. Right now, because I have a whole mix of loot, it's not as good for that. But it's really good for when you're like, you're chopping wood, doing all that kind of stuff. Because that's the kind of stuff where you end up with just a whole bunch of the same type of loot. That's really easy to deal with. Plus, it's just extra inventory space, and that's always a plus. Just waiting for our fish to finish cooking, then we'll put out the fire, and then I'll start transferring all the loot to our bag. We'll start just shoveling fish into our mouth as fast as it'll let us, because, you know, that's just... We're an adult, and we get to define what that means. And that is cooking 10. Yeah, so now I can just transfer it all to this backpack super fast. Well, I mean, not super fast, but easy to deal with. Although there's going to be entirely too much fish for us to bring with us. Because we're talking, this is absurd amounts of fish. Oh geez, how big is that fish I'm eating right now? Oh, that's only 3 kilograms, okay. I got scared, because you can actually have them where they're like 10 kilograms. Okay, Cog, you sleep well. And we're just eating all the fish. Because it weighs too much. And we just, like, this calorie bar is what we're trying to get up. Because, alright, so we can't eat more fish yet because we're too full. But we've already got ourselves back down to heavy load. Oh, and I have a katana in here. Well, first, Drop her CD. Where's our broken katana? There it is. Do I keep putting the katanas on the bed? Because at this point, yeah, sure. So I now have 21 katanas on the katana bed.